Are gamers lazy and procrastinating, or are they potential geniuses? Hey guys, Edison T Crux here, and another thing that you all probably know about me already is that I like to play games, right? I don't do it as much as I would like to, or as much as I used to, but I love games, like video games. They're a lot of fun, and I know a lot of you do too, right? Obviously, a lot of you know me through my brother, who is pretty well known for playing video games, right? So a lot of times there's a negative stigma with video games and with gamers, thinking that, oh yeah, all they want to do is they just want to go home and, you know, slack off from whatever they were doing, go home, just play games for hours, you know. And as gamers, we have heard the whole arrangement of different ways of kind of bashing that. You know, they've said that video games are making us violent. If they're not making us violent, they're melting our minds. If they're not melting our minds, they're destroying our social skills. If they're not destroying our social skills, they're just eating our time, or preventing you from studying and developing your education, what have you. We've heard it all. Man, there's so much negative rep towards video games and gamers. Why? Well, probably a lot of it's because people don't really understand it, unless you do. You either are a gamer or you're not a gamer, and if you're not a gamer, it might not make much sense to you as to what the benefit is, right? It might just seem like you're wasting your time, right? I mean, yeah, you got that, you know, that new achievement in Call of Duty, but what's that going to do for you in real life? You know, and that is a legitimate question. So I just want to pose a few thoughts for you, since I know a lot of my audience are gamers. And I just want to give you a little bit of some things to think about when it comes to gaming. First of all, personally, I think that gamers, on the whole, just as a general rule, are brilliant. And that's something you don't hear as often. But you think about gaming, right? And the nature of most games, not all of them, I don't really know how much skill is involved in Farmville, for example, but in most games, there's a certain level of skill involved, particularly in competitive games. Like I mentioned Call of Duty, like, you know, your first-person shooter games, your competitive ones, things like Super Smash Brothers, or even more strategic ones like Pokemon, as example, right? The competitive Pokemon play. And a lot of those, and there's any number more, that's just a really brief example, but just, for example, in competitive games, or any game that really requires skill, there's a lot of skill. And although you might not think that this is a good use of your talents, playing video games, there is no denying, when you watch people who are really good at video games, there is no denying that these people have got some skill. They have got talent. They are geniuses in many cases. You spend some time looking around on YouTube trying to find some people who are really, really good, and it won't take you long to find some people who will blow you away at how good they are. And even the average person, even someone who's not, you know, absolute master of the masters, there's still most people. I would say your average gamer who plays consistently is really talented. Really talented. So, on the whole, I think gamers are brilliant. And there's a pretty simple reason as to why. When you think about it, how much time do we spend playing games? Quite a bit, because it's fun. We love playing games. It's really, really fun to do. So we spend a lot of time doing it, which is practice. Video games take skill. Skills, like any skill in life, are developed through practice. Practicing gets you better. You improve from doing. You improve from gradually increasing the difficulty and facing harder challenges. That's why there's a sliding scale, you know, easy mode, medium mode, hard mode, ultra hard mode, oh my god, hard mode, just give up now, hard mode. You know, there's a progression. And just like any skill, the same thing applies. The only difference really with video games is it's a skill that we we practice often because we really, really enjoy doing it, right? And for other people, are drawn in that same way to other skills. Music is another great one that people are really, really drawn to because they really enjoy doing it. But even less conventional ones like programming. Some people really get a kick out of programming. Or graphic design is another one. As a kid, I loved doing graphic design and like photo manipulation. It was great fun. And I spent a lot of time doing it because it was fun to me. Even though that might not seem like recreation necessarily. So it's a skill, and we develop it more through practice, and we practice from playing, which we do anyway because that's just what we want to do with our time. So gamers are brilliant, but here's the thing that I do want you to think about. That age-old question, or actually before I get to that, I do want to make another thought about, do games make people violent? Or do they melt your brain or whatever? Well, I already made it clear I don't think they melt your brain. I think that they sharpen your brain, to sharpen your skills. Do they make people violent? I really don't think so. I think violent people are going to be violent either way. Violent, like really violent video games, that the whole objective is very graphic killing and slaughtering. I don't think it necessarily makes people. I don't honestly feel it makes it any more likely you're going to go out and do anything like that in real life. There is a point to be thought that, and I think there could be credibility, that playing very violent video games, that the whole point is in a competitive environment, trying to kill each other, might not make you in any way more likely to go out and try and kill people, but it might give you a more aggressive personality. That I could see some validity to, that if you spend a lot of time doing that, it might make you, as a person, a little bit more aggressive. So that's something I think you should keep an eye on. Try and just separate that, because I don't really think being an aggressive person by nature stands to benefit you. Confident, yes. Confidence, and swagger, absolutely. You rock that swagger. But aggression might not be your best trait. But you can keep that in check if you're aware of it. So this might make you aware of that fact, make it a little easier to control. But the other thought about, and this is the big question with video games, is what does it accomplish, right? You get a bunch of virtual achievements or objectives, and that's it. It does nothing. The idea is that it does nothing for you in the real world. You don't really achieve anything from doing it. And although you might be brilliantly talented at it, it's like almost like they're thinking it's wasted potential. I think that might be true. To a degree. To a degree. People who are doing video games and playing them frequently and getting really good are talented people. And it's true. Except in some rare circumstances, those skills won't always apply very well in the real world. Some parts of it will, but unfortunately the vast majority of those things won't really be of tremendous benefit to you in the real world. Is that harsh? Yeah, a little bit. But I want to tell you something too, and I think this is a big reason why people spend so much time on video games. In video games, they are designed to give you a sense of satisfaction. An artificial sense of satisfaction, but a sense of satisfaction. That's why they have achievements. That's why they make a big deal when your character levels up. So you can feel progress. So you can feel satisfaction and accomplishment. Because humans are wired to strive for those things. We are goal-seeking organisms. And video games cater to that very well. They really fuel that goal-seeking side of us. And that's fun, and that's why we do it. But the thing is, in the areas of life that we want to perhaps improve upon, say a skill that would really benefit you. For me, let's say writing, as an example, since I'm a writer, duh. And I might just want to go play a video game. I could be learning or developing writing things. or any other professional type of thing, even if it's not as much fun. Writing's pretty fun, so it's kind of a hard, not as good of a analogy. But work with me here. The thing I think that happens is children don't feel, as children, and then as to teenagers, and even as to adults, are discouraged from dreaming big. They're generally look at the rest of life and the rest of the world as some not very fun thing. Something that you need recreation to get away from. So you turn to video games because the life that people are expecting you to live, that you've been raised as what you're supposed to live, isn't very fun. Right? You're supposed to go to work at a job you don't really like, doing things you don't really like doing. It's not much fun. You have to go, and you go to school for years and years and years to learn how to do something that you don't really want to do, and the process of learning it isn't much fun either. Boring. It's no wonder people turn to video games for relief. But here's the thing. People don't dream big enough in real life. If you were to set goals that excited you, if you were to set goals in life that excited you, that were bigger than you thought you could do, right? Up that difficulty. If you were to set achievable milestones, achievements, real life achievements for yourself, get along the way. Think exactly like the achievement system in most gaming systems nowadays. Set little things, achievements. You can even give them point values. Make it fun. Why not? But make real life fun too. Take the same concepts that are exciting about video games, that make you keep going back, and apply that to something that can give you longer-term satisfaction. Take that and apply it to something that will better you as a person, that will better the world, and you'll be amazed at what you can do. Because I think a lot of people who are constantly play video games, or play it very often, don't really know what to do with themselves in the real world. And I think that's the bigger point of the problem, is they're not encouraged. They might be told playing video games isn't the right thing, but they're not told what the right thing is. So I challenge you, particularly if you are an avid video gamer, think about what you really want to accomplish with your life. That sounds big. That sounds really big. And that's what I want. I want you to take a moment, step back from games for just a moment. We can go back. I want that to be clear, is I'm a big fan of video games. I'm a huge fan. I'm not saying cut them out. That's not all I'm saying. I'm saying moderation. I'm saying have something else that you're also excited about. But take a step back from video games for a moment and think about the real world. Think about what huge goal you want to achieve in your life. And then find a way to make that fun. Find a way to make that exciting. Find the things that you like about video games and apply that to achieving something that you will, over the course of the next 10, 20, 30 years, be really glad that you worked towards. If you think about video games, a lot of it is, kind of mindless grinding. Like in Pokemon, you got to spend a lot of time leveling up your Pokemon. There's a lot of not that exciting stuff. Why do we do it? Because we've got a goal. Because we're doing it for an objective. The only difference with video games in real life is that in video games, they make it clearer that you achieve something. In real life, we don't celebrate our accomplishments nearly enough. So that's just a little bit of food for thought for you. I think that if you are an avid gamer, then you have got all of the right potential within you to achieve amazing things. Because you've got commitment to learning something, to improving, to practicing on a daily basis, and to constant improvement. Those are skills that you developed from playing video games. And those are skills that you can apply in anything that you want to achieve in your life. So if you are an avid video gamer, and this might have seemed like, oh man, this guy's preaching at me here, don't think of it like that. You have got an amazing skill set. An amazing skill set. I'm just trying to show you a way to apply that in the rest of your life too. So that way, you can feel good when you do take your time to play video games, because you know even more that you've earned it. And you know that you're living a balanced life, that all parts of it are satisfied. You'll feel a greater sense of satisfaction from focusing on these things and from really trying to build the whole you, not just the gaming you. So that's what I want to hear, is I want to hear your thoughts and your comments. Leave them below. Let me know what are your big crazy goals you want to achieve in your life. What are think big, right? If we want to talk about big, I'm saying colonizing Mars is not out of the question here. Get as big as you can get here, okay? The bigger the better, because that's going to make you reach for the stars, and it's going to actually make you work harder and do more. So what really do you want to achieve in your life? Post in the comments. And if you've never thought about it, then brainstorm in the comments, right? No better time than the present to think about it. And also, I want you to think about what valuable skills you have learned from video games. What things such as commitment, such as, sticking with it, setting goals, achieving goals. If it's any kind of fast-paced game, you've got reflexes. If it's a strategy game, you've got strategic thinking. List out some of the skills that you think you have developed through video games. I'd love to hear them, and it might even get you thinking some ways to apply that in other areas of your life too. So go ahead and leave those comments. I'm looking forward to reading those, okay?